All right, Jerry Kennedy, personal lines agent for many years and national faculty for 30 years now, actually. Here to talk to you about some auto valuation issues or valuation problems. I teach personal auto for CIC pretty often, and I will poll the room or poll the online webinar, asking the people that are participating if they've had or if they've had a client that's had a total loss of their car in recent years. And we'll see a number of hands. It's a common thing for people to total their cars. And let's say, for those of you that have experienced that or had a client experience of that, how many were completely satisfied with the amount that the insurance company offered for that total loss? Not such a great show of hands or online participation at that point. Typically, anywhere from 10 to 15, maybe 20% on a good day of people were satisfied with what they were offered for their car when it was a total loss. So it's a real problem. I know for me as an agent, one of the first things I'll do when I have a client that's looking at maybe having a total loss when they have a car wreck is I'll suggest they start looking around at what they would need to spend to replace their car with another one. Look online to see what similar year and model and trim and mileage and condition cars are actually selling for, and that gets them thinking in the realm of market value early on. Sometimes they think that they're going to be getting a new car, and I don't know, maybe they've been watching that advertisement for a new car replacement, right? So that's helpful. But the what do we owe? Well, in the automobile valuation thing, we owe actual cash value. And unlike homeowners or other property loss, where that might be replacement cost plus depreciation, actual cash value when it comes to cars is market value. What a willing buyer would have paid a willing seller for their car on the day before it was totaled, right? So what could the insured have sold their car for? Not what they might have gotten for a trade in the dealer, but what could they have sold their car for? One of the first things, if your insured is unhappy with the price that's being offered, is to ask them if they've gotten a copy of the valuation report, because insurance companies always have one done. Not that they necessarily do them themselves, they have them done. There are vendors that they use that track the sales of used cars all over the country, and then come up with these valuation reports showing what similar cars have sold for and how that relates to the value of their car. So it's important to look at those reports. Were they accurate? Was the insurance vehicle properly described? Were the condition and mileage and all the other features put in correctly? Had the insured added things to the car, customized it, or had work done on it, a new transmission or new tires or other things that would have increased its market value, and make sure that the adjuster is made aware of those things. There's all kinds of other valuation sources out there online that are available. Plenty of websites. Not that they don't tend to be more conservative sometimes than what cars are selling for. Check and make sure that sales tax is included. Check on your state's unfair claims practices law. Almost every state, because this has been such a consumer concern, has come up with regulations relating to how insurance companies are supposed to settle total losses, how they're supposed to come up with market value. Typically, those laws talk about using local comps that are in the local market area, because it's because they found a car cheap, somewhere 300 miles away, doesn't make that a good alternative for your insured or really a fair market value. That could be a totally different market. So be aware of those things. The other two coverage things that we can do to help are the use of gap coverage and then replacement cost. ISO calls their gap coverage auto loan lease endorsement, and it's become widely available in recent years. And it's extremely important. I think it's even more important now that we're kind of leaving the pandemic behind. We've had so many people that have spent top dollar for their cars. I know I didn't get any discounts when I bought a new car last year. And yet now that the market has improved for used car sales and we've gotten out of the pandemic, it's returned to normal. And so we're seeing more people that after they total their car, their used car value is not going to be anywhere close to what they paid for it. Plus, people, when they buy a new car, are getting loans of not 3 years or 5 years, but even 7 and 10 years. to where they're really a lot more likely to have more loan than current market value. That $60,000 car they bought with a $55,000 loan may only be worth 45 now. They could have gaps of 5, 10, or even $15,000. I've seen them. So recommending gap coverage. If they didn't buy it from the dealer, then be sure and get it from you, their agent. Make sure that people know that it's available. But the other thing that's really nice is replacement cost. ISO came out with it in their last personal auto revision in 2018, and a number of companies are offering it now with the ISO endorsement. If the insured can get, uh, if the insured has a total loss of their car in the first 2 years or 24,000 miles of car ownership, if there's a total loss, we'll buy them a new car instead of paying actual cash value. So that's nice. In some states, you'll see that even available up to 5 years now in some cases. So a really nice, and it's so inexpensive. It just, I don't even ask clients when they add a new car, I'll add a replacement cost endorsement to it because it's so inexpensive. So that's it for the two value issues. Thanks for listening.